1,
2,
3,
4.
Monster movie.
Fun time, go! Monster movie.
Fun time, go. Monster.
Movie.
Fun time.
Go!
Monster movie. Fun time, go.
With Precious D and Honeybee.
Fun time, go!
Hello, friends and neighbors, ladies, gaities, and thadies. Welcome to the show. I am your host, Honeybee.
And I am your other host, Precious D.
Welcome or welcome back. Today, we are discussing giant spider invasion, but first, we gotta talk about how special this episode is.
Oh, yes, we
Yeah,
are in
we-
person for a change.
Yeah, but not only that, we're also recording at the first place we ever met.
That's true. We are at the Permian Playhouse.
It's the first place we ever met, and I don't know, did we decide what year it was? 2004? 5?
5. Would have been 2005.
That was almost 20 years ago.
Yeah, getting close.
Almost.
Getting close.
Yeah, so very special episode. Not so much because of the movie, but just
No, it's a very terrible movie.
but just because where we are and everything.
Yeah, the movie is The Giant Spider Invasion from 1975. I've seen this movie more times than...
Oh, really?
Well, it's been featured on Mystery Science Theater 3000
So
and on Riff Tracks
love.
as one of the Riff Tracks live Fathom events, which means I saw this movie in a theater.
Ooh, jelly.
It is terrible, but has a lot of people in it who actually are Hollywood people with careers. It's weird.
Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, I think I recognize some of these.
Did
At
you?
least her.
Oh, just her? You
The
didn't recognize?
drunk, crazy drunk lady.
Oh, I didn't recognize her, but
You didn't? She looks so familiar to me.
I didn't look her up. It was directed by Bill Rebane, written by Robert Easton and Richard L. Huff, starring Steve Brody as Dr. J.R. Vance. He's a person who's done things. Barbara Hale as Dr. Jenny Langer. She is best known for playing Della Street on Perry Mason for years.
That means nothing.
And then later on TV movies of Perry Mason for more years. Alan Hale Jr., no relation to Barbara Hale, as Sheriff Jones. Did you recognize Alan Hale Jr.?
I don't think so.
I'm going to slap you so hard. Leslie Parrish as Eve Keister. Robert Easton as Dan Keister.
Promise.
Christine Schmidtmer as Helga. Kevin Brody, I think he is related to Steve Brody, as Dave Perkins. Bill Williams as Dutch. Oh, Bill Williams is married to Barbara Hale.
Oh,
Their son is William Catt from Greatest American Hero and a number of other things. No idea. Because Bill Williams is actually William Herman Catt, and his son went by William Catt. Diane Lee Hart as Terry, Paul Benson as Billy, Tane Bodkin as Preacher, J. Stuart Taylor as Deputy, William W. Gillette Jr. as Ryder, and Cheryl Desotel as driver of VW Giant Spider.
shout out to Cheryl.
Alan Hale Jr. was the skipper on Gilligan's Island,
Which we talked about. I
have
did
not-
not really see.
which is why when we first see him, the young man comes in and he says, "Hey, little buddy." That is a Gilligan's Island reference. They're underlining the fact that he was the skipper rather than just letting him play the sheriff.
Adorable.
So there you go. Where to even start with this piece of crap movie?
I'd like to start with the Olivia Newton-John moment that the blonde on the porch, with her head over her shoulder, holding her whiskey. You know when Olivia Newton-John is doing
Hopelessly Devoted?
She's kind of walking around the set piece, it was very that.
Okay.
It's she is having a
Drunk
drunken
Sandy?
Yeah, drunken Sandy moment.
So this movie is full of drunken, adulterous hillbillies.
Yeah, okay.
with a side order of not actual incest, just incest in law.
Yeah.
Guy's trying to hit on his underage sister-in-law. Everybody
And
tries to
then the
hit on the.
cousin- And then the cousin, too.
Yes, everybody tries to hit on the underage.
And
Girl.
we see her titties, too, right?
We do, yes. I believe we get a brief
Yeah.
when she's coming out of the shower. There's a scene.
Naked titties.
Yeah, she comes out of the shower and just has a towel on for a bit
I'm like, I try
while her
not
uncle leers at her.
Ew, yeah. I try not to like objectify women, but I also get really excited about titties. You know what I mean? It's like it's all about balance, I guess. But I'm like a 12-year-old boy in the sense of ooh, titties, but then also I'm like, you know, it's all about the duality of life.
Okay. Well, yes, there's some what they used to call brief nudity in this movie.
Is that what they used to call it?
Yeah, I believe so. I think it was brief enough to count as brief nudity.
Yeah, it was pretty brief.
And okay, so this was shot in 6 weeks on a budget of $300,000. Okay, the plot. So Wikipedia has just a very bare bones plot here, and I took no notes. But
Thank you, Wikipedia. I have a few pages of those.
okay, then hit me. What do you got?
There's this really awful moment with drunk Olivia Newton-John, and a younger boy coming to pick up the.
Yeah,
And she's like, "If you were 5 years younger, I'd jump you."
she's
I was like,
oh god.
well, cool.
Well, we do find out. All right, we find out later that the reason she's drinking is because she lost a baby,
Yes.
and their marriage is in a lot of trouble. The husband's cheating on her because he doesn't like her drinking, I guess. But she's drinking because they lost a baby. But I think he's really just cheating because he's just an asshole.
Yeah.
Because he also is hitting. That's no reason to be hitting on the underage sister. Oh
This
God,
movie has
he's
a
so
lot going
unpleasant.
on. Yeah, he's very unpleasant.
That's is that Dan?
Yes.
Dan? Okay. All right. So there's some astronomical event, some sort of a meteor strike, something. There's two sets of characters. There's the people in the small town, and then there's the people at the university and the government. There's the government people who go to consult with. Oh God, I forgot about this. The drive-by sexism. We have a lady scientist in this movie.
We do.
Mark that on your bingo cards.
We do have a lady scientist, and she's not like a spicy lady scientist. She's like a mom lady.
That's Barbara Hale.
scientist.
Well, she might be a MILF.
Yeah, but she's,
In that Steve Brody is very interested, Dr. J.D. Vance, after he's so condescending to her, is very interested in getting into her pants.
I wrote a note about her that was like, this is what teachers used to look like.
It is. Okay, so these government guys see this thing come down and start trying to investigate it.
And there's a preacher who's like, hell, fire, and brimstone.
We get some Bible quotes at the beginning about the things that crawl in the earth or whatever, and we keep cutting to this preacher who apparently is doing some revival in the town nearby. But all we ever see is really extreme close-ups on him.
And his sweaty preacher face.
So that we don't have to pay for a location or a congregation.
Smart.
Dan does claim he's going to go see the guy preach at one point, but no, he's going to go hook up with his side piece.
Yeah, who we also see her titties, but not naked.
Okay. Well, she's like in a negligee.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at yours right now, also not naked. What does that mean?
You know what I mean? Like
She's in a negligee, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a very see-through.
Yeah.
You can like see her knees if you pause it, and
Which you did.
I did, of course, because I was like, oh my god, titties! Look at my note right here. Even like drew a little heart face and everything.
Well, it is true that most of the movies we watched like this don't have that
this
sort
was
of
our
thing.
First, I was like, oh shit.
But it's because it's a low budget exploitation thing, so they wanted to get some of that. You got to have both your Gilligan's Island nostalgia and your brief nudity.
See, that's what I'm telling you. It's all about balance. It's the duality of things. Okay.
Oof.
Okay. So the big blast happens.
Yeah, something hits some kind of meteor or something hits the ground. But then they later try to tell us that it's a black hole. That a black hole just crashed into the ground, which I find unlikely. I mean, there are supposedly sort of things like micro black holes, which I guess could crash into the planet. I'm not sure about that. It just seems so weird and unnecessary. Anyway, this thing drops geodes full of spiders
Yeah.
around town.
It's super, super weird. The spider diamonds, space spider diamonds.
Yeah. So Dan finds, I think the thing lands, he and his wife are arguing and being assholes when they see the thing. They're the worst.
They're just horrible.
And they see, like a shooting star and then it's something land. So
Big bright boom.
I think he waits till the next day to go check on it, though.
Yeah, he gives no fucks. He's just like going and just like, are you gonna come and help me look at the field? And he's like, if you want to stand out here and look at nothing, do it on your own time. But then when they go out there and they just start picking shit up, like it's nothing. Like they're just like, oh, this fell right out of the ground or right out of the sky.
Just pick it up with my bare hands.
And just toss it around. And jeez,
so first,
try to saw them open.
First, it appears that the meteor has either dropped geodes as it's going, or the geodes have exploded up out of it. And we find out later that they're full of spiders. But there's also seems to just be a lot of spiders around town already. Because they talk about, that's just our local spiders. I mean, everybody's got spiders, but it seems to already be a problem in town.
I don't know. I was like, there was a point in the movie where I was like, so is it a giant invasion?
No.
Or is it a giant spider? Because it took a while for like giant spiders to happen. Like at first it was just
it's an invasion
normal.
Of giant spiders.
Right.
Not a
giant
invasion of spiders. But it's a little bit of both, because first we get these tarantula-sized spiders breaking out of these geodes that these dum-dums take into their house. And they wreak havoc. But then at least some of them start growing to Volkswagen size.
Yes.
Puppets. There's a combination of real spiders and puppet spiders and a Volkswagen wearing a spider costume.
Which, okay, the puppets, they do look kind of corny, right? But with how gruesome the deaths are, it kind of balances it out. It's not as corny because the deaths are so bloody.
It did remind me of Earth versus the Spider, where we just get a splash of blood right across the windshield from the
that was
spider.
Like our first bloody moment too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so when they find the diamonds, and then now she's trying to be all sweet to him. We're gonna be rich.
Yes.
All those things I said, I didn't mean them.
Right.
And he's like, nah, bitch. I already have a side piece. I don't need you. I don't want you. Sorry. But yeah.
The geodes have what appear to be diamonds in them. I think they turn out to be diamonds, but just sort of industrial grade diamonds, not...
Yeah.
They're worth a little bit, but not a lot. So he thinks they're going to get rich off of them.
Well, the guy does say, if you have a bucket of these, you could be rich. Like a whole bucket.
Right.
He's like, all right.
He's got a cup full at least.
I could maybe find a bucket.
So we get a lot of... So there's the sister and her boyfriend who are trying to go on a date and make out in the car, and they get attacked by spiders. We got this sort of ineffectual sheriff who keeps getting phone calls about weird... And the meteor seems to have had some sort of electromagnetic pulse effect and knocked out a bunch of electronics around town, but not the phones, because people keep calling him up to say the radio's not working, and he's like, what do you want me to do about it? Call the radio station. And then we get these scientists who eventually come to town. But first, so the military guys are chatting, and some dude tells Dr. Vance to go talk to Dr. Langer. And so he goes to the college and and he's like, "Hi, I'm looking for Dr. Langer." And there's this whole just sexist scene with, does she say, I'm Jenny Langer? And he's like, oh, well, I think I'm looking for your husband. No, well, your father maybe. Or, it's beyond him that she might be Dr. Langer. Mm-hmm. This is the kind of shit we were seeing in the 40s and 50s. Yeah. Now we're still seeing it in 1975.
Come on.
So, yeah, it's still a big deal that she's a lady. It's still a lady scientist situation rather than just a scientist who happens to be a lady. He finally gets it through his thick skull, or she finally lets him off the hook to say, no, I'm Dr. Langer. Mm-hmm. And then he's all like, oh, hey.
Are you? You want to play doctor?
And then, but she does not. She doesn't hold it against him, I guess,
she's
because
graceful about it.
They sort of become a couple for no real reason. Just because they're... Well, here's the weird thing. At first, they're just being out there doing scientifically colleague shit.
Yeah.
But at one point when they're running away from danger, he like grabs her hand or something and says, come on, honey. Aww. And I was like, what?
You're like, did I miss something?
Yeah. So he's obviously interested in her, but at some point off camera has decided that she's honey now, not Dr. Langer anymore. Dang. And they are pretty flirty throughout this whole nonsense.
I didn't think it was too flirty.
Well, I mean, it was just flirty enough.
Yeah, an appropriate level of work flirty.
It seemed inappropriate to me. But also just, okay, she's honey now. Whatever. It was just another one of those tepid romances that, well, we're here, so I guess we're romance now.
Something else that we have to talk about is they also find like dead cattle and such in the fields. Yeah. So there's something big, of course, eating the cattle.
Yeah, the spiders are exsanguinating the
and then
cattle.
Dan finds a man, and instead of doing, he buries the man?
I think, yes. The spiders kill a person. The sheriff is looking for the person because he's gotten a call about it.
Yeah, he's a missing person.
Dan finds him, is scared and horrified by it, but then just decides to bury him rather than tell anybody. Oh, you know what? They mentioned in passing something about the weed they're growing on their land.
Oh, yeah, the grass.
I was thinking at first that it had to do with the diamonds and him not wanting anyone else poking around the diamonds, but he probably doesn't want the sheriff coming out there and seeing that he's growing marijuana on his land. So he just buries the guy. But people are looking for this guy. And he is explicitly asked, did you see anybody on a motorcycle go by? Because his crashed motorcycles. It's clear that this is the guy they're looking for. Mm-hmm. And he just lies about it because he's an asshole.
He is an asshole. The whole movie, he's just kind of a gross asshole.
So I really didn't care for anybody in this movie, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a certain sort of nostalgia about Alan Hale Jr., but he's making so many just annoying, obnoxious jokes throughout the movie that it...
I feel like I didn't realize until this moment that I didn't like the movie because I was swayed by all of the beautiful women, and I was tricked into thinking that I did like people in this movie, but now I'm realizing that it was all trickery.
Yeah, I liked Barbara Hale enough, but I found Dr. J.R. Vance to just be really creepy.
Yeah, there's some like weird creepy shit going on in this movie, like when Dan's like hitting on the Terry, and she's like, "Oh, that's why you used to spank me so much when I was a kid." Like, he used to get. I was like, "What is going on in this movie?"
She's both creeped out by his advances, but also encouraging it. Yeah, so she's not great either.
Very strange.
She gets killed by spiders, doesn't she? In her bedroom, or is it her sister?
But her sister gets killed first, and then she gets killed later. But her boyfriend comes and he sees her like bloody hand fall out of the house that the spider has just torn up.
So the smaller spider, the tarantula-sized spiders, kill Eve. Ev?
No, the big spider kills her because she runs to the barn.
she's attacked by the smaller ones and then runs away and gets
And then-
killed by the big one.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get some spider legs through the windows and stuff.
Yeah, it's really great.
But at some point, they figure out that it's not a meteor, it's a black hole that has opened a portal to another dimension. And they believe
To a
that,
parallel dimension.
yeah, and they believe that these spiders are going to continue pouring into our dimension until they can figure out how to close. The
It's
portal.
a space warp.
Yeah.
As they call it. A gravitational pull so intense it causes a black hole. And it's a door to a parallel universe.
Which I just found unnecessary.
What do you mean?
Well, just the idea that these spiders had come here in little pods on a meteor to me seemed enough of a reason,
Yeah.
enough of an explanation. I didn't see why it had to be, well, actually, it just opened a portal and then the geodes rolled through the portal or something or got spat out of the portal. And I don't know. It's also unclear, did the really big spider, was it one of the smaller ones that grew that big, or was it just that big all along and came through the portal, or what? It just all seemed really unclear exactly what was happening and why. And this whole weirdness of a black hole just crashed into the countryside.
They say something too about how all the spiders in the area would be affected too. Like it wasn't just like these spiders that had came through, but now all of the spiders were in that crash site.
Right. They've
We're
been
gonna
somehow
be
affected.
Affected, and we're gonna like grow. And I was like, what?
Yeah. See, it doesn't, none of it makes any damn sense. It's just ridiculous. What was? How did they figure out how to close it?
Also, the spiders like sound effect is this awful high pitched squeal,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, why wouldn't you make it like? It's supposed to be like a big scary monster, and it's just like a balloon, like Scooby.
Oh, and then at some point, the townspeople decide to form a mob and just go hunt spiders.
Oh yeah, with everyone and their families and their guns and their families' guns.
Yeah. And their guns' families.
Their guns' families.
They
Ooh-wee! Just start a whole.
and the sheriff's
trying.
the deputy's trying to stop them, but they're just like, we're gonna go out and just start shooting shit and probably end up shooting each other, but we don't care. So yeah, that's a whole thing. This is now regarded as a cult classic. I guess so.
Yeah, I could see that for sure.
I mean, it's just bad.
Someone also makes a comment about the black hole being like a door with the doorway to hell, which I thought that was hilarious. And they're like, "Who knows what other monsters will come through?"
Are they trying to set up a sequel?
I guess so.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, the little carnival. There's like a small carnival in a baseball game. The baseball game. I think this is where the slug bug spider comes into play.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was so.
It
Cute.
drives it.
All the kids running, by the way, they look like they're having a blast. They do not look scared at all. They look like they are having a great time.
Well, they probably thought the giant spider was pretty cool, and they getting to be in a movie. You think?
Yeah. Imagine if you're a little kid.
Well,
on that
sure.
set.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all like running and they're all like smiling at each other, like, wow. So cute.
So yeah, for the big spider, they just put a costume on a Volkswagen Bug and
Brilliant.
drove it around the countryside through the baseball field and over the hills and stuff. And I guess they were doing the legs were moving.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they had
There was definitely like some strings.
some puppetry going on.
Yeah. Because you can see them at some point.
Yeah, the strings.
Yeah, my favorite line in the entire movie was there's when the sheriff is calling and he's like talking about the spider. He's like, "Have you ever seen the movie Jaws? That makes this shark look like a goldfish."
Which I've said it before, I'll say it again. Don't mention a better movie in your shitty movie.
You have said that.
Trying
Yeah,
to
I
see if
said
there's
we can
any-
see the spider strings, but with all the bloody people around, it makes it way less corny.
Okay.
The spider mouth with his like little like mandible pointy fang things was so cool. I really like.
Oh
that.
God, yeah. Okay, so
was
there's
really cool.
twice we see the giant spider
something.
eat somebody, sort of reverse poop them,
Yes, exactly.
because his mouth is not quite a mouth.
It does look like a butthole.
Yeah, but it's does it have mandibles that we can see?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, so the puppet mandibles sort of act like they're scooping the actor into the mouth,
mouth.
but the
butthole.
mouth is just an opening in a piece of fabric or rubber or something. It's not, a functional spider. It's not an authentic replica of a spider's mouth. It just has to be something that the actor can get through. So it eats the deputy, who it's his own fault.
It is his own fault.
He's just sort of standing around shooting his pistol ineffectually and has plenty of time to run away from it.
This guy's kind of a boob the whole movie.
Yeah. He totally could have run away from it if he had chosen to, but he keeps getting closer and trying to shoot it, and then basically just lets it eat him. Because the script says he gets eaten, so he's got to get eaten.
Gotta follow the orders.
And then what, it eats a woman later?
No, he eats Dan,
Yeah.
and then he eats the sheriff, the deputy guy.
He eats Dan first and then the deputy. Does he start to eat Dr. Jenny Langer? Doesn't he start to eat her at one point? But the other guy, Dr. Vance, rescues her?
And they roll down a hill together.
Yeah. These two middle-aged scientists roll down a slight incline.
It's really funny.
She said Barbara's actually doing a lot of stunts in this movie for a woman of her age.
The funny thing is, though, is like literally, she's not that old, right? Like,
Let's see. Do some. She was born in 1922.
this is in 75.
Yeah. You gonna do that math real quick?
She's like in her 50s.
Yeah. No, she's not like an old woman, but she's
Oh,
a little old to be rolling down hills and shit.
Yeah, I guess so.
And especially for a proper actress who's been in things and
Yeah.
won Emmys and shit. Yeah, she won an Emmy in 1959.
Oh, damn, that's her. She's banging.
Yeah. Yeah, she was Della Street on Perry Mason from 1957 to 1966. Won an Emmy for it. And then reprised that role in 30 Perry Mason made-for-TV movies from 1985 to 1995.
Okay.
Some of which co-starred her son, William Catt.
Oh,
I believe he's playing her son.
adorable.
Yeah. So, yeah, she's just a little old to be rolling down hills. But
But she did it like a boss.
she did. She did. Oh, God. Anything else? It's going to be a short episode because...
We always have short episodes when we're like actually
In
together.
person?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know.
It could have something to do with the fact that I took no notes and the summary is crap.
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger, where you'll find over 30,000 mouth-watering choices that excite your inner foodie. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices, plus extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week. You can also save up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with fuel points. More savings and more inspiring flavors make shopping Kroger worth it every time. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Ooh, when the spider at the end just starts like gooping out.
Yeah, so when they managed to close the gateway, which I'm not exactly sure how they did, threw some kind of energy at it or dropped a bomb at it or something. When they close off the gateway, it drains the spiders of their energy, causing them to melt into puddles of sludge.
Ugh, so
according
goopy.
to Wikipedia.
It was very goopy.
But it wasn't entirely clear in the movie itself that that's what was happening.
Yeah.
That they were getting energy through the portal, I guess. Now, here's an interesting piece of trivia.
Hit me with it.
While attempting to film a scene where the spider explodes, the effects team covered the prop with gunpowder, and had a crew member attempt to ignite it with matches.
Oh.
Despite using the entire matchbox, the spider did not explode, and Rebane, that's the director, decided to stop filming. Immediately after they stopped, the spider exploded, causing 2 crew members to get their hair singed and be taken to the hospital to be treated for severe burns.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Safety first, y'all.
That was from Wikipedia. Thank you, Wikipedia.
Thanks, Wikipedia.
Oh my God.
I really wish they hadn't chose whale sounds for the spiders.
Whale sounds?
Yeah, you know.
You think that's what they sounded like? Whales?
It was just very high-pitched squealing noises.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
very, very disappointing.
Well, I mean, what kind of sound does a spider make?
I don't know, because they're so tiny, but you would think if they were that big that it'd be like a lower, like a...
Rah, 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 rah.
No, it's a monster. movie.
Rawr, I'm a spider. Rawr.
Yeah. Oh no. Trying to see. Oh yeah, throughout the movie, the cobwebs
Uh-huh.
just keep like kind of like showing up.
Yeah.
Like, more and more, like getting thicker and thicker
Right.
and thicker. That's so funny.
Yep.
That was making me laugh.
And everybody's just like, "Oh, that's just our local spiders." Just
Yeah.
There's a couple of weird scenes in the restaurant with the sheriff and the scientists and the waitress and
Oh yeah, because the waitress is his side piece.
yeah, and I didn't put that together until I was reading the summary.
Oh really?
Well, she kind of had an accent in the restaurant scenes, but didn't in the other
Yeah.
scenes, I think.
Yeah.
Also, she does. Some people trying to hit on her in the restaurant, and I can't remember if she says something about a boyfriend.
No, she keeps pretending that she, like every night, she like has a date.
Yeah.
And it's that Dan guy, but
Right.
but she keeps at like saying like, "Oh, my aunt is coming into town one night," and they're like,
Uh-huh.
"Oh, is it?" And the guy's like, "Well, if it's the same aunt from yesterday, then you better tell her she left you a hickey." It's like,
I just, for some reason, I did not put together that they were the same person.
wow, that's weird. That's
I think it might be just because she's wearing such totally different outfits in the different scenes.
yeah, but she's not wearing a bra and her nipples are.
Okay. Alrighty then. Jeez. Is there anything else we could talk about?
So, you obviously hated this movie.
I did. It's bad. It's bad. It's got good people in it who are talented people who've had big careers, but it's just a cheap ass, shitty movie full of shitty characters doing shitty things and then being attacked by shitty spiders.
Yeah, I definitely see that, but I did enjoy it more than you did.
Yeah.
Like a lot more.
You know you can find boobs for free on the internet. You know?
Yeah, totally, but you shouldn't pay your sex workers, people. But also, it's just one of those things where it's like, this is kind of our first movie where it's like, ooh, scandalous. We get to see a little bit of skin. And it's like 1975. So, you know, you gotta put yourself in 1975. Like, when you're like, seeing this movie for the first time, you're like, oh shit, there are titties in this movie. So good.
It seemed like there actually used to be more of that than there is now.
Yeah.
I feel like. What was the rating on this movie? It supposedly made $15 million on
Damn.
a budget of $300,000. So
I thought it was good.
there you go. I was trying to see what the rating was. Was it you I was telling that it used to get brief nudity in PG movies before PG-13 came along?
I think you were telling me.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if this was a PG or an R, but it's probably a PG. It doesn't say here, though, for some reason. That's weird.
I like this movie so much more than you did. I'm like bummed that you didn't like it as much. I can definitely see why it's like a cult classic.
Uh-huh.
I feel like it's the first of its kind that we've seen. But it is a bunch of like unlikable people doing unlikable things and then unlikable spiders killing them all. But
It was PG.
I loved it. It was PG.
Yes, it was PG. It was PG. Parental guidance suggested.
Yeah,
Because
but
boobs and blood.
Yeah,
and
there
spiders.
was a lot of blood. It was kind of gory. That was also something I really liked about it. Was just how like I feel like it added to the I don't know. It just seemed like a cheap, filthy horror movie. I just like that vibe. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like we had the blood, the like hot chicks,
Yeah.
like jumping around,
Yeah.
the like adultery. It was just like
I just like it better if I care that anybody died.
yeah.
Well, all these people, I'm like, oh, good, he's dead. Oh, good, she's dead. I just did not care about them
Yeah.
because they were such assholes. And even Alan Hale Jr. was just so obnoxious. He was just trying so hard. Ha ha, I'm funny. Ha ha, I'm charming. Everybody loves me. I'm like, no, stop. You're too much. You're the sheriff. Have a little dignity. It was, I don't. What are you going to rate it?
I'm gonna give it a 4.
Jesus.
I liked it. I really enjoyed it. I had so much fun watching it, and I loved the spiders. I loved the above like shots where it showed the spider in the field,
And
it's just so.
oh yeah, there's like some
obviously a Muppet, but it's so
helicopter
good.
shots of the VW driving across the field.
Oh, I loved it. I really loved it. I loved the butthole mouth and the spider like eating the person. Both times, it was so good.
Yeah.
I really loved the puppetry of it. I loved the goriness of it. I loved the titties of it. And I enjoyed it. I could definitely see why it was a cult classic. It really feels like the first of its kind for us. Do you know what I mean when I say that?
For what we've watched, yes.
Yes.
There was plenty of this kind of stuff around.
Sure.
Just not
Right.
not on our list.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm giving it a vacillating between a 1 and a 2.
Ooh.
Maybe a 2 for Alan Hale and Barbara Hale.
There you go.
1 star for each of them.
Yeah, that's nice. How nice of you.
Folks, we have a Patreon now.
Yay!
Finally.
We did it.
We have 2 patrons so far. We need more.
Yay! I sent it to my grandmother today.
Does she listen to the show?
Yeah, she does.
All right. Patreon.com/MMFTG. We've got some bonus episodes up there. We're going to release episodes early, ad-free episodes. I'm going to post soon some bingo cards, kaiju bingo cards we keep talking about. I'm making a PDF. I'm going to post those up there.
Oh, yes.
There'll be like multiple cards with the things in different, like actual bingo cards in that the numbers are all different in each square. So these will be
amazing.
so you can print them out and play with your friends and see who gets kaiju. And as we get more patrons, we'll start adding more special content, more special episodes, maybe some behind the scenes stuff. Who knows?
Yeah, that's a good idea. That'd be super cool. I highly recommend that you go watch this movie too.
It is on Tubi.
I watched it on Tubi. Free with ads, baby.
Yep. And of course, you can probably also watch either the Mystery Science Theater version or the Riff Tracks version on probably a couple of places.
I think the Mystery Science Theater was also on Tubi.
Probably some of their stuff is on Tubi. Some of their stuff is on Netflix. Riff Tracks has their own website and app with stuff on it, but some of that stuff is on YouTube and that kind of stuff. So you might enjoy it more if you watch it with
y'all. Let us know. Did you love it as much as I did, or do you hate it as much as Precious does?
that. Yes.
Which one is it? How do you feel, audience?
So
These spiders make this Jaws shark look like a goldfish.
folks, follow us on all the socials. Back us on Patreon. Tell your friends and neighbors. We're still having a giveaway that I don't think will be over yet by the time this episode airs. Yeah, I think it'll still be going when this episode airs. You can find the link to that in our show notes or in our mmftg.bio.link, I believe. Has a link to it. We're giving away a copy of Space Monster Wangmagwi. And
Yes.
8 other movies. That's on Blu-ray, and then there could be 8 other kaiju movies on DVD. Some Godzillas and some Jack the Giant Killer, that kind of some stuff. Some random stuff.
Buy me some, Mom.
Well, it's kind of a short one today, I guess, but I think that'll do it for us. So until next time, I have been Precious D.
And I have been Honey Bee.
Remember to keep calm and take shelter of basements.
And please, don't misuse science.
We won't see you, but you will hear us next time on Monster Movie Fun Time Go.
Yeah, baby.
You've been listening to Monster Movie Fun Time Go. If you enjoyed the show, please rate and review us on your podcasting platform of choice. Our theme song is by the Texacato Folk Rock Punk featuring Lita Lopez. You can support the show, find links to our social media, and even leave us a voice message at anchor.fm/MMFTG.